Paul Crabtree, and I'm here today to introduce you to the Hollowing Master hollowing tool. It comes in 5 sizes, and today I would just like to show you how to set up and hollow out a vessel with the HM75. But before we get started on the demonstration, I would like to go over with you as far as the different benefits of this tool. So if you'll come over here, I'll show you.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, here we are. Have it down here so hopefully you can see what I'm talking about. The blade is a teardrop blade. It's a 3-in-1 as I call it. It has a tip, round spot, and then I call it a flat spot, but it's slightly rounded. And I generally use all 3 settings of this blade in every hollow form I do. Now, what has come about with this tool is that it's pretty versatile, and so not only is it great for hollowing out hollow forms, but also for bowls. But because of the bowls, of the contour and everything, the tip of the blade gets in the way. So what I have done is I've made a right and left blade. So you can use the right blade when you need to, and then you can also use the left notch blade for like bowls. And the reason why it's good for bowls is because you can hide the tip. You can hide the tip up here and use the entire blade down here as you need to. Also with the spring is a built-in calipers, a built-in adjustable calipers. So you can bring it down here, you can bring it up here, all the way around 180 degrees around the blade. Now, when you're first starting out and you have a shoulder on the piece to do, you might need to have an adjustment something like this. On this side, the caliper spring being on this side of the blade. So then, as you move along, you're going to be needing the different adjustments, and so then you will be adjusting to the contour or to the tangent line of the piece you're working on. And to best demonstrate that, I'll show you what I'm talking about with a cutaway piece. Okay, this piece here, is cut in half, and I'll show you how I am able to go in and adjust to the different lines of the piece or the different contours of the piece. Now this piece here wasn't finished. I just decided to use it for a demonstrator. So anyway, I have some issues, you might say, with this piece as far as how to get in there and do my adjusting. So what we'll do is we'll adjust this spring calipers and see what happens. Now, I have this adjusted like this because I want to come in here. I want to come in here. And the way I get this adjustment is if this was a full piece here on the lathe, I would put this over the top, making sure my shaft went through the neck of this and cleared, and then I would bring this around and find out how I was lined up here as far as my spring and blade goes to the contour line or the tangent line. So as you can see here, I could be pretty good. And after you get just to do a little bit of use of this tool, you can then learn how to turn it as you are hollowing out. So this would take up to about to here to hollow, and then I would need to readjust it, and in fact move my blade a little bit. So I'll move my spring and blade, and each time you move it, of course, you can tell whether you need to move your spring in and out for the thickness of the wall. So now I'll bring it over the top, look at this like this. Can I get inside? Yes, I have clearance inside here, and I can get to what I want to get to here. So I would be able to cut this piece out with this setting, and I could make the wall thickness as thin as here without a problem. So you have it set for this much of the piece to do, and that's all the more you want to do. Don't try to push it. You don't even have to do all of that area. Just go down and find where this thickness is and stop. So then you can come over, look down again, and say, okay, I need to do this part so I can reset it. Okay, so we come in here, and I absolutely missed that setting. So I'll have to go again. And sometimes, even now, I have to set this up to 2 or 3 times before I get it right. But the hollowing itself doesn't take that long, so you don't need to worry about hurrying up, because you just don't need to. So okay, now I have it set a little different. I'll look and see my hole. Okay. I've shown you how to adjust the tool and everything and all of that. I have the piece set up here, ready to put a hole in it so I can start hollowing. So that's where I'll pick it up as far as doing that. I'll prep it a little bit so I get a nice... The hole is a very important process or step in hollowing a piece out. It not only gives you the depth that you want to go, so you don't have to always think about it that way, but it also gives you something to hook the tip of that blade into. The hole itself will probably save 3 hours on this piece alone. It's just that important. So it's something that it needs to be done on every piece that's hollowed, I believe. Even a thin or a shallow bowl, I do this process. And what I do is I have a 18-inch 3/8 bit here, and I've welded a handle on it. These will be in the line later. Anyway, I just hold the drill bit over the piece. I give myself a little bit of room here on the bottom. I come back and I just simply make a mark to the depth I want to go. Now, when you're doing this process, don't try to take out too much at a time, because in some woods you can get your drill bit stuck in there and have a terrible time getting it out. So just be patient and it doesn't take that long to do. Okay, for the initial cutting of this, or the starting to hollow, I'll bring my tool rest out from my piece a little bit, give myself a little bit of room. Now, I have went ahead and set this blade up as I think that I'll need it to get in there. That's so I can stay in the hole and everything. And all I'm doing is making this hole bigger all the way down to the bottom of my hole, of that hole I drilled. I pull the spring back because I don't need it. It doesn't have a function right now. Okay, it'd also be a good time right now to explain to you something else that I do or don't do. In coming in here, I leave as much meat on here as I possibly can. I have to open it up so I can make it as easy as I can for myself to get down in here, but I don't take off anymore, and I really have to up in the neck area and up here. And that's because when I get in here and start hollowing, it's real easy when I'm pulling this bit out or putting it in to touch the sides. So I don't want to take away any material that's going to hurt the piece. So if I leave a little bit of treat myself good material inside of here, leave it a little bit thick, then if I do touch it, I'm not going to ruin the piece or, you know, make it a lesser of a piece than what it would be. So that's how I operate with that. Whenever you have any chips built up in there and you move this tool around, you're going to get that chatter. That's another reason why it's important to
Two and three.
Okay, I'm just about at the bottom of the hole now, so I want to switch over to the round spot, or the round part of the blade, so I can take it out in the body a little bit more. And again, I'll put this down here, and now I'll reference my mark I put on there, and I will know by this mark when I put it inside that I can start taking out some. I don't want to take out much, but just a little bit at a time is all you can do, because it fills up. See, with that hole down there to the depth I want it is a real nice guideline now as to where I am. Okay, I have just a little bit of the hole showing. That means I can come in down there and round this off a little bit more. Okay, we'll clean that. Okay, we'll see how we're looking here. Have maybe just a little bit to go before we actually hit the bottom of that hole. see how that looks. Okay, we are officially at the bottom. And if you would like to, we can give you a look inside to see what it looks like. All it needs to do is really be cleaned up in there, you know, and that'll come with the what we're going to do next with the spring and everything. So right now we're good on to the bottom, and we can get down to the serious cutting now. So what I want to do is turn my blade so it's down here. I want to put the shaft of the tool so I know it's going to be in the hole. I want to pick a spot here so I have the shaft through the hole, my blade out. I can look down over the top of it, and my blade is exactly on the wrong side. So we will reset the calipers to where it needs to be. Okay, so all I need to do is tighten up that spring, or the spring rod, and the calipers will be set where they need to be for the cutting of this section of the vessel. I recheck it to make sure. I want a tangent line through here. I want the contour line to come right between, or right perpendicular with the line between the tip of the calipers and the spring. Excuse me, the tip of the calipers and the blade. Now, I have a straight line coming right straight through here, and also now perpendicular I have a line, the contour line, coming through here. So let's go ahead and clean that little part out. Remember, you don't go very far. So when the tip of the spring comes up, I know that I'm finished right there. Okay, I'll put it back in and double check it. I can double check it here. See how I can follow the contour line, which by going around I can do that. So, well, I can't go, I can come down to about here and go up to here. So we'll finish that out. This is pretty well finished. Okay, now I'm not going to push getting too close to the shoulder of the vessel, and I'll show you exactly why I'm not going to push that point. As I come up here, my spring is down here. My spring is riding down here, but actually my blade is cutting clear up into here. So I can go through here real easy right now if I'm not careful, and if I keep pushing it and come up here to where this is not set up to cut. If I go out of my bounds where I have set it up to cut down here, then I can put a hole through here. So you have to pay attention where you are and not get carried away as far as hollowing. So now what I do is I go right past the shoulder of this. I find it much easier on a vessel like this if I can go on the other side of it and continue with the dressing up that way. What happens inside there is I leave a little berm, you might say, and I'll address that when I get to it. But for right now, I'll check this out to see if I'm very close. I'm pretty good. I have about 5/16 of an inch here, which for this particular wood, chestnut, I like to have. I like to have about 5/16 of an inch. So I'll take out this. Okay, as you can see, the spring's popping up, and I'm not going to push it because I have plenty of chips in there anyway. But I will always go back and check to see that how clean I got it. Okay, that's looking pretty good. I don't want to go down here anymore because it's not set for that part. So I can leave the lathe turned off, come back here, and that shoulder's taken care of already. I'm not going to have to get in there. I will check all of this later on and clean it up without the spring, but right now I want to just keep going on down, and I can do that by adjusting this down the slide rod a little bit. Okay, I'm really good. Now I can catch this a little bit more. But notice we started off with the spring over here, and the blade turned a little bit here, and now I'm clear around to the other side. So I come up here, and I can feel where I left off before. And again, remember, I have already designated where the bottom of this piece is, so I don't have to take any more off the bottom. What I do is I use that for a gauge. When I come down here, I can lighten up as I go. I can take the material away from here, but I don't need to take any away from there. It's just technique of the tool, and it is like a bowl gouge or anything else. Once you learn the technique of it, it becomes second hand to you. So what I'll do here is I just want to make sure that I'm pretty clean. Okay. Okay, now I will come up to the neck and finish cleaning this out. Come out this way and just keep coming and work my way out. Give myself plenty of room here. I need to set the blade a little bit. The spring. With this built-in calipers, it saves the operator a lot of time from having to go over and find a caliper that'll fit inside and to do the job that you need it to do. Also, right now, I leave this part a little bit thicker because I'm going to do a lot of sanding on that. And so I don't want to make this neck too thin right now because I want it to be consistent with the rest of it when I'm finished. So I'll come in here, I'll look, okay, looks good. And I can feel that I started here, so I've got the spring set for here, and I know my thickness is good here, so I can take the material out here without any fear of going through, or very little fear of going through. So that's what I'll do, is I'm not taking anything from down there. And, whoops. Okay. Now I should be able to feel how thick I am. Okay, good. I'm right about up to here, and I'll bring it on out. But I don't need the spring for that. I can do this by hand, or just by Okay, I'm a little bit thick right here, coming around the corner here, you might say. So I'll readjust and take a look. Just a little bit off. Now, unlike a bowl, I can come out here last because of all the different angles and everything of this piece. Got a little bit more inside here that I could, I think I could readjust my blade. Okay. Okay, that's very nice. Nice little piece. It's a medium vessel. I'll probably color this because it is chestnut. Chestnut takes coloring very well. And I thank you folks for watching. I hope that you've learned from my demonstration, and if you have any questions, please contact the customer service of the company, and all questions will be answered for you. Whatever you might hollow, we always want it to be a happy ending. And so with this tool, you'll be safe, and you'll always be able to gauge what thickness your walls are all the way around. So thank you very much, and happy hollowing.